Prime Minister Narendra Modi is heading to Italy to attend the summit of Group of Seven, known as the G7, which is likely to be dominated by Ukraine and Gaza ceasefire talks, as well as the world economy. India, which has been invited to the summit as an outreach country, has defense and maritime cooperation on its agenda. Prime Minister Modi is expected to meet US President Joe Biden, and he's also expected to hold a meeting with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and other leaders to review bilateral ties. NDTV's Vishnu sent us this report from Italy.
Hello and welcome to Bari, Italy. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now on his way to Italy to be a key part of this G7 process. It's the 11th time that India has been called as a special invitee to the G7 process. The reason this is important and interesting is because India is increasingly seen to be a voice of the global south. The G7 itself was an economic grouping when it began, but the nature of the globe's economy has changed. India is now the world's fifth largest economy. In fact, India's economy is larger than that of Canada, of the host Italy, and of France as well. So India's economic might is something to be spoken about. While he's over here, the Prime Minister will be looking at artificial intelligence. He'll be looking at Pacific Ocean security, Pacific issues. He'll be looking at Africa. He'll be looking at climate change as well, and also important issues of migration. But the key question is whether global leaders will be asking Prime Minister Narendra Modi about the Ukraine situation, because the Ukraine crisis is very much at the heart, at the core of what this G7 is all about. There are important bilateral meetings which are also expected to take place over here. There will certainly be one between India and Italy. Remember, Italy is a strategic partner of India. Giorgia Meloni and the Prime Minister have had an excellent working relationship. The Italian Prime Minister was in India for G20. She was also there as on a state visit. The relationship between India and Italy sees an increased engagement as far as the economy is concerned, military to military ties is concerned, high-tech transfers are concerned, but there is also an old historic connection that people don't talk about. In the Second World War, 50,000 Indians fought for the liberation of Italy from their fascist rulers at that stage. Indian soldiers participated in some of the greatest battles I should say, of that time, whether it's the Battle of Monte Cassino or battles in many other areas of Italy. Today, the Indian community, and there are 2 lakh people of Indian origin, have a big say in the Italian economy. They are a key part of the Parma dairy, the ham and cheese industry as it were. They've had a fantastic role over here. But in as much as these are positive aspects of the relationship with Italy, there are challenges as well. In Brindisi, there is a bust which is under construction of Gandhiji, which was defaced apparently by those sympathetic to the Khalistani movement. India's ambassador to Rome has told us that this is a concern which has been brought up with Italian authorities. That bust has been cleaned up for the moment, but there is that concern about sympathizers of the Khalistan movement being here in Italy as well. In fact, we've seen this in the past as well. But tomorrow is going to be the really big important day as far as Prime Minister Modi is concerned. He gets here, remember, very late at night tonight. He's here for just 24 hours, unlike other visits where there is often a stadium or an auditorium which is booked out, where he reaches out to the diaspora. On this occasion, there'll be a very small interaction or engagement with the diaspora lasting no more than 5 to 6 minutes. We are here in Italy. We'll be tracking every aspect of this very important visit. Remember, it's the first time that the Prime Minister, after being sworn in, is traveling abroad. This sets the path, the agenda for his foreign policy outreach going forward. With camera person Rakesh Singh in Bari, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Now, the latest on the NEET controversy, the medical entrance exam. The Supreme Court today accepted the centre's decision to scrap the controversial grace marks which were awarded to over 1,500 students who will now be given the option to appear for a re-exam. The Education Minister denied there was any paper leak, but the Congress is demanding a judicial probe and for the NTA chief, that's the National Testing Agency chief, to be sacked.
In a decision that has done little to placate NEET candidates across the country, the Supreme Court has accepted the centre's solution to the admission mess. The centre told the court grace marks given to 1,563 NEET undergraduate 2024 candidates for admission to MBBS and BDS will be cancelled. These students have the option of either taking a retest on June 23rd or they can seek admission based on their marks without the grace marks. The court, however, declined to hold the admission counselling process, which will start on July 6th. Retest results will be declared on June 30th. But protests continued in many parts of the country, with NEET candidates and their parents demanding a retest and a probe, alleging that the paper was leaked at certain centres. But the government has denied any paper leak and defended the National Testing Agency, which conducts the NEET undergraduate examination.
पेपर लीक की हमारे पास कोई जानकारी नहीं है। मैंने उस रीट पिटीशन को अनुध्यान कराया, कोई भी एक भी जगह पे प्रमाण नहीं है। एक एलिगेशन पेपर लीक हुआ है, कहाँ है प्रमाण हुआ है? एक दो चीजों की न्यूज आइटम पे अगर प्रमाण आधारित होता है तब कोर्ट उसको विचार करेगी, सरकार अपना पक्ष रखेगी और कोर्ट में 8 जुलाई को चर्चा भी होगी। मेरे जितना जानकारी है, नीट एक कॉम्पिटेंट एग्जामिनेशन करने वाला अथॉरिटी बन चुकी है। आने वाले दिनों में सारे प्रकार की शंका संशय को दूर करने के लिए और पारदर्शिता लिया जाएगा और जो लोग उसमें कहीं ना कहीं एक आधा जगह पे कुछ गड़बड़ी करने का कोशिश कर भी रहे होंगे, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई भी लिया जाएगा।
But far from satisfying the opposition, the government statement sparked off a war of words.
We demand a Supreme Court monitored investigation. The NTA chairperson should be removed from his post.
After the NEET, we are suffering a lot. We don't have doctors in rural areas. The whole, health system is suffering because NEET has been brought in.
For Tamil Nadu, that demands exemption from NEET, arguing the exam only favors affluent students who can afford private coaching, denying level playing field for poor, high-scoring rural students. The shoddy NEET results have only bolstered its plea.
Despite the war of words between the government and the opposition, the Supreme Court has endorsed the National Testing Agency's proposal for having a retest. But the big question remains is the trauma for the students who have to reappear for this professional exam. With Sam Daniel in Chennai, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
The heat wave is back in the national capital as there's no end to the water crisis and the political blame game is continuing. The AAP government has said that water pilferage is taking place on the Haryana side of the key canal that provides water from Haryana to Delhi and that extra water from Himachal is not being provided. The BJP says the Delhi government is hiding its own failures as the Himachal government did a U-turn in the Supreme Court saying there is no extra water for Delhi.
A day of U-turns and more blame games as Delhi battles a harsh summer and a water crisis. In a twist in the Supreme Court battle over Delhi's spiralling water crisis, Himachal Pradesh today said it does not have surplus water to send to the national capital, a day after the hill state said it had released water for Delhi. This, as yet another round of blame game took place between Delhi's AAP government and the BJP. In an affidavit to the Supreme Court, the Delhi government blamed Haryana again for the water crisis, saying that water theft via tanker mafias was happening on the Haryana side of the crucial Munnak Canal that supplies water to Delhi. The BJP hit back, saying AAP was not interested in solving the problem.
The Aam Aadmi Party Kejriwal government has absolutely no intention of curing this crisis in Delhi. This is not a natural crisis. This is a crisis which has been created and orchestrated by the Aam Aadmi Party only to ensure there is corruption, to fill up their deep pockets, as well as to ensure that the tanker mafia continues to operate in Delhi.
हरियाणा पुलिस और दिल्ली पुलिस दोनों भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अंडर आते हैं। अगर वो इन टैंकरों से पानी भरना रोकना चाहते हैं तो वो आज रोक सकते हैं, लेकिन वो राजनीति कर रहे हैं।
After NDTV exposed this water theft at Munnak Canal, the Delhi government has stepped up patrolling along the canal route. But a visit to this crucial water pipeline in another part of Delhi exposed the AAP government's claims of clamping down yet again. NDTV cameras captured water being wasted due to multiple leakages.
We are reporting from Nizamuddin, where you can see that this is a pipeline where there is a leakage that is happening. We are showing you the visuals and you can see the amount of water that is being wasted. This is the drinking water that is being wasted, and the amount, the liters and liters of water that is being wasted here. And this is just one point of leakage on this pipeline. We are showing you that there is another point of leakage on this entire pipeline that you can see, and there are yet another. So there are 3 points of leakage that we are seeing currently here on this pipeline.
Despite all the attention around Delhi's water crisis, the big question, will things get better? With Ishika Verma, Bureau Report, NDTV.
In other news now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today reviewed the situation in Jammu and Kashmir with the NSA and other officials focusing on security and counter-terror efforts. This is after there have been 4 terror attacks in 4 days, starting with the day the Prime Minister was sworn in. Now, the Prime Minister discussed the deployment of security forces with the Home Minister and assessed the local administration's efforts with Jammu and Kashmir LG Manoj Sinha.
Terror has found a new address in Jammu and Kashmir, that is the south of Pir Panjal. Earlier, terror used to strike in north of Pir Panjal, whether it's Kulgam, Shopian or Pulwama. These were considered as the hotbeds of militancy. But in last 4 days, we have seen 4 big incidents being reported from Jammu region, Riasi, Katwa, or the third is Doda. 2 incidents took place in Doda, stating that how the terrorists are striking at will. Investigations so far have revealed that the terror attacks have taken place. These are all done by fresh infiltrators who have just, infiltrated from across the border. As far as the intelligence agencies suggest, they say that a group of about 12 infiltrators crossed over from Pakistan, and they are responsible for these attacks. 2 have been gunned down, but search operations continue in that region. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting here in Delhi, which was attended by senior officers and also included the National Security Advisor Mr. Ajit Doval. After the meeting, it was decided that full spectrum of counter-terror capabilities would be enhanced in this region. Interestingly, after these incidents were reported, first 3 incidents were reported, a urgent meeting of Unified Command was called in Srinagar, which was chaired by the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir Manoj Sinha. After that, a security audit was done of the entire region, and gaps are being filled by security agency so that the level of infiltrations can come down. Interestingly, the army has maintained that no infiltration took place last year. The fact that this year infiltration has again gone up so high, this is again going to be a question which has to be answered by army very soon. When we spoke to experts or when we spoke to senior officers, they say in this area forces were thinned down in last couple of years because this area had become relatively peaceful. No incident was being reported, and that is why the forces were pulled out from this region. In fact, after Galwan also, the entire division was pulled out from that region. Maybe that's the reason why now the terrorists have consolidated their bases there, because this area is densely forested. They also take shelter in natural caves which are there in the upper region. So many difficulties are also there as far as security forces are concerned to carry out an operation in that region.
Now, with the focus in the Modi 3.0 government on continuity, Ajit Doval has been reappointed as the National Security Advisor and P.K. Mishra as Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister with effect from the 10th is what the government announced today. In statements announcing the appointments, the government said they will be coterminous with the term of the Prime Minister or until further orders, whichever is earlier.
Taking forward the continuity mantra, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appointed National Security Advisor Mr. Ajit Doval for a third term. He has also appointed P.K. Mishra as Principal Secretary. Both have been given cabinet rank and their tenure would run as co-terminus with the government. As far as Mr. Doval is concerned, he has extensive experience in intelligence and strategic affairs. Doval also in fact plays a key role in formulating and implementing policies. Under his leadership in National Security Council, a key government always relies on them for inputs when they have to decide or take a very important decision regarding domestic and foreign policies or what stand the government would take on any issue. As far as Mr. P.K. Mishra is concerned, he is a 1972 batch Gujarat cadre officer. He handles bureaucracy and has one-on-one relationship with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has been working with Prime Minister Narendra Modi since the time he has retired. He was earlier posted as additional Principal Secretary to Prime Minister during his term in 2014 and 18. He has also been given cabinet rank. Apart from them, Amit Khare and Tarun Kapoor also have been appointed as advisors to the Prime Minister.
TDP's Ram Mohan Naidu took charge today as the new aviation minister. He's the youngest minister in Modi 3.0 government, and high airfares are on his radar. He said that he will work to increase ease of travel and comfort for passengers and wants to make air travel in fact within the reach of the common man.
Definitely, I really can't decide on one decision to bring down the prices, but like I'm saying, it is a very important issue today. My whole intention is to make air travel reach to the common man, and it has happened over 10 years. There have been Udan scheme that has come up. Modi ji has also said Hawai Chappal se Hawai Jahaz tak. So I want to make it a reality for that. For that, prices have to be affordable. Now the market scenarios or the other external factors, COVID, so a lot of different factors have made in improving the prices. So we have to sit down, the department has to sit down, and whenever that thing is happening, my intention or my priority would be from the people of this country that to bring down the prices, and I would sit down with that point of view.
More sensational details have emerged in the murder case involving Kannada actor Darshan. The actor Darshan, who has been arrested in this case, had allegedly asked 3 other men to take the blame for the crime in exchange for cash, is what the police have said. The actor, who also beat Renuka Swami, the deceased, offered the men 5 lakh rupees each to implicate themselves in the case. Here's a report.
Shocking and sensational details are emerging in the murder case involving popular Kannada actor Darshan Togudeepa. The actor, his partner Pavitra Gowda and 11 others are being questioned in connection with the murder of 33-year-old Renuka Swami after they were remanded to police custody for 6 days. The police investigation reveals that the victim Renuka Swami was tied with a rope. He was then beaten with wooden sticks in a shed. Darshan had allegedly planted 3 men to take the blame for the murder. But during interrogation, they were exposed. Darshan had offered the 3 5 lakh rupees each. This is the place where Darshan and his aides had taken Renuka Swami. This is a shed where he was taken inside, allegedly beaten and tortured. He was tied with a rope and beaten with wooden sticks, and then he in fact dropped dead, after which he was taken from here and his body was dumped in a drain nearby. Also unearthed is CCTV evidence of 2 cars being driven away from the crime scene on the night of the murder. One of the cars is linked to Darshan. Another CCTV video shows Renuka Swami at a pharmacy in Chitradurga days before his murder.
I'm sure that there will be absolutely no room for any kind of pressures to be put on this investigation, and there is no question of that, because it's a heinous crime. If he is responsible, he should face the consequences.
The police are trying to gather evidence to establish Darshan's involvement in this sinister plot. They are scanning phones, social media accounts, financial transactions and CCTV footage to piece together the details. While police say Darshan was enraged over offensive messages by Renuka Swami to Pavitra, they are also probing whether there was a larger motive behind this killing. With video journalist Govind Murthy, this is Radhika Ramaswamy for NDTV Bangalore.
And finally, with Chandrababu Naidu taking charge as Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister for a fourth time, Amravati land prices have spiked as the Chief Minister has made it clear establishing the new capital for Andhra Pradesh will be a priority for his government. Aishwarya Jain reports from Amravati.
For the past few years, the future of Amravati as the capital city of Andhra Pradesh has remained uncertain. However, victory of the TDP, Jan Sena and BJP alliance has cleared the doubts, renewing real estate buyers' interest. The recent pronouncements by the state government have indicated a renewed focus on developing the region.
Amravati anangane ollu palakalistundi. అమరావతి రాజధాని పేరు కూడా ఈ అమరావతిని చూసే పెట్టామని మరొక్కసారి విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నా.
This has instilled fresh hope amongst investors and potential homeowners, leading to a surge in land prices.
So after the CBN came, they are very happy right now. So the land prices increase, I can say as a square feet, that and all, it will be almost double.
The announcement of renewed development efforts has certainly generated a positive buzz. Local real estate agents have reported a significant rise in inquiries and a subsequent increase in land prices.
Now price increase because world-class city increase price.
According to sources, land prices in some prime locations have doubled or even tripled compared to what they were a few months ago. Land prices in Amravati prior to 2019 stood at Rs 25,000 to Rs 60,000 per square yard. After YSRCP came to power, prices dipped to Rs 9,000 to 18,000 rupees per square yards. Now land prices hover in the region of Rs 30,000 to 60,000 rupees per square yard. A renewed focus on Amravati's development has certainly brought a wave of optimism to the region.
2014 में जो अमरावती पैदा हुई बाबू के सरकार में या जमीन का रेट 1 एकड़ का 1 करोड़ रहा था स्टार्टिंग 1 करोड़ से उन 5 साल करने के बाद 3 करोड़ तक चले गया 5 साल के अंदर बाबू 5 साल सीएम रहे ना वो 5 साल में 1 करोड़ से 3 करोड़ तक गया 2019 तक बाद में 2019 में जगनमोहन की सरकार आई वो 3 करोड़ का दाम 50 लाख को आगे गया.
The rising land prices reflect the positive sentiment, but it remains to be seen how the state government navigates this growth to ensure Amravati's future as a vibrant and sustainable capital city.
Before 5 years is no development here. So for example, TDP government is God. So there is a visionary leader. So that's what so many people invested to here because he will take some investors like IT companies, any otherwise some like other infrastructure he will develop.
As soon as Chandrababu Naidu took the oath of the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he promised to revive the Amravati capital city project. Soon after that, we have witnessed a sharp hike in land prices of Amravati. Now investors are looking with a great opportunity to invest in the state. This is Aishwarya Jain with the journalist Sheikh Momin for NDTV in Amravati.